Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Morning Tea. How are you? My name is Tracy V. Allen. I am an impact strategist, speaker, writer, and educator, and I am the host of Morning Tea. And this morning, I have with me J'Anmetra or JoJo Waddell, right? She's affectionately known, and she is the only what was it?
Live past.
Pass your crazy specialist. Right? So,
Yeah.
what does that mean? It means that she helps you to get past those things in your life that have probably had you stuck, driven you crazy, and just made you feel like you want to give up on life. So,
Yes.
J'Anmetra or JoJo, introduce yourself.
Good morning, guys. Tracy, and welcome to Morning Tea. I have mine too.
Thank you.
Uh, Thank you so much for having me. So I am the only Live Past Crazy specialist, and I am the host of the Fearless Morning Show. Been doing that for a few years, and the owner of Be Fearless Incorporated. I've written a couple of books, been in a couple of movies, so that's been exciting. But my overall is to be my sister's keeper and to help others know that there is life past crazy, no matter what your crazy may be. I promise that there is life after that. So I just share some tips and tricks that you can use in your everyday life to get past it.
Oh, nice. So, I know that in your real life, right?
Yes.
You are an HR specialist,
Yes.
right? So tell us how you go from HR specialist to the only live past your crazy specialist.
The transition is difficult. So I do work a 9 to 5. In my 9 to 5, I am your HR person, your compliance. I am all things that you want to complain about your job. And so it started out, Tracy, to be honest, I started out doing application Wednesdays because I saw people coming into my office just so unprepared for
I remember
everything.
that. I do remember
Yeah,
that.
it was insane. And so I was like, I've got to help people. And it kind of grew from there. But in my 9 to 5, I realized that I was fulfilling a part of me, but not all of me. And so I had to find what that extra was. And so that's how I started on this Be Fearless journey. And we've been walking it ever since.
Okay, so you started off with your speciality, which is HR.
Yes.
I think we had a conversation, about people coming in with jacked up
Yes.
resumes, not knowing how to fill out applications, just being a whole mess, looking for a job,
Yes.
needing a job, but they're just not prepared
Yes.
for the job,
For life. Yeah.
the employment industry.
Yes.
And I know that you did some community work too with
Yes.
helping people to put their resumes together, and then you did the application Wednesdays. And I remember
Yes.
saying up, okay, we're gonna go through this, and whatever. I remember that clearly.
Yes.
So, what has it been like doing your regular 9 to 5 job and trying to start this business? So it started off as a hobby, kind of,
Yes.
really just
Mhm.
wanting to help people. How did
Yes.
you transition from just helping people to deciding, okay, I truly need to make this a business? And how are
Yeah.
you balancing having that 9 to 5 job and getting up? Because if you guys think I get up early at 6 o'clock to do the show, so does she. She gets up at 7 o'clock
Yes.
or 6:30 and does her show every
Yes.
single day.
Every
So that's commitment, and I admire that about you because it's just
work.
better to get the stuff done early in
Yes.
the morning, get it out the way, give people that inspiration that they need to start their
Yes.
days. And it just helps you to have a better day to me. But go ahead
It
and tell us
does.
how you were able to transition and how you're balancing that.
So, like you said, it really started with me doing the application Wednesday because I really wanted to help people understand the job process. Because, like you said, people, I think my most hard story is the young girl that came in, and I would help them like it. I would tell them, I would meet them out in the hallway and say, hey, come back in an hour and I'll redo your resume. And I would print it off for them and give them folders out of my own office supply. And this one young girl came in with her boyfriend and she was like, oh, I forgot my resume, but I have my jump drive. I was like, girl, I'll help you. Tracy, we popped in the jump drive.
Mhm.
And here's all the pictures of her and her boyfriend unclothed. And so she was like, oh, just skip all of those and go right to my resume at the bottom. It's like, oh, wow. Okay. And I said, sweetie, don't you ever in your life do that again. Because I had become my mother at that part. And that's when I knew that something I was, I had to do something because nobody was telling anybody. And so from there, people started asking more and more questions like, but JoJo, how do I get out of this job that's only paying me $8 or $9? Or how do I get out of the cycle of finding these same jobs? And I started to notice that people asking me the same questions. And that I also realized it was steps that I had taken over the years to get out of my own crazy. And, we define crazy whatever way you want to. And so I was like, let me start doing a morning show because I was hosting an event. And I was like, well, let's talk about it in the mornings to get people, excited about my event. And it took off from there. But it takes, like you said, dedication. And, the bigger picture is I pray that I'm helping somebody who can use these tips to, to keep it moving and get motivated to say, maybe just for the day, I can pick a different thought.
Okay. Awesome. So how is it balancing both? Like, so you go to work at what? 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock?
9 o'clock. So my morning, and you know what? COVID-19 has calmed my mornings down because I was up at 5 and my daughter goes to school that's almost 40 minutes away because, we made that commitment. So I'm leaving my house at 6:15. So I can have her there by 7:15. So I can then set up the morning show in the car, broadcast the morning show live from her schoolyard. And then from her schoolyard after the morning show, I would drive another 35 minutes, well, almost an hour, depending on traffic, to my job. And so I was literally in my car from 6:30 to 9, Monday through Friday. And then, it's exhausting. You get home and you still have to be a parent and, and that's still the back end of the business. And so to balance it all, there's nothing I can do about my mornings because they are what they are, but I have to take care of my evenings. Like, okay, Tuesday and Thursday, these are the days that you don't do anything. These are the days that you relax, or else you can get caught up in wanting to help all the time. And then you burn yourself out. And then you're mentally, emotionally exhausted and you sitting on the couch wrapped up like, why does my body hurt? Like, why do I feel like this? It's because you've given it all and you got nothing left.
That was me this weekend. That is me this morning, but I'm here smiling. But like I'm in a whole lot of pain right now. But I mean, you just, like you said, you have to know when to stop. Like, so you have to choose one day that's just for you. You're not helping anybody. You're not even helping yourself or your own business. You're just going to probably Netflix and chill. Whatever it takes you to unwind, that is exactly what you need to do. Because people ask me all the time, like, how do you get up so early? I get up at 4 o'clock, but I've been doing that for like a year. I read the 4-hour working. And I was just like, oh, this sounds like a novel idea. Try it, right? So last January, I started saying, okay, for this whole month, I'm going to commit to getting up at 4 o'clock, and let's see how this works. Because that's real early every day to get up. And I was shocked, JoJo. I was shocked. I was like, wow. By 8 or 9 o'clock, all of my work was done. So I spend the rest of the day volunteering because people always ask me, I volunteer for a local organization, and that takes up a lot of my time because I'm also the co-chair. And so you have to do a lot of community engagements and a lot of networking and whatever. And people keep asking me, like, how are you doing this? How are you running your business? And how are you doing this? Well, my business isn't really a face-to-face business unless I need to meet the client, right? It's a lot of, I need to do the work, right? For the client. From 4 to 8 o'clock, 4 hours, I can get 5 hours, most of my work done before my day actually starts. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, you were tired, but you still get it done.
Because, by 3 o'clock, it's like, and I was the same way. I was like, oh, because I used to want to stay up. Oh, let's grind it out. Let's work. Girl, here I am at 1:30. I can't think straight at 1:30. I need to be asleep by 9:30 because 5
Yeah.
o'clock comes real early when you go to
Mhm.
bed at 1. And
Yeah.
so I had to switch switch and realize I couldn't be the stay up late person,
Mhm.
not when you have a morning show, and
Right.
not if you want me to not sound like Barry White bright and early in the morning. I need to get up and get moving and, have my tea and get things
Right.
going first.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So getting up early, guys, can save your life. You can get so much, and especially if you have other passions that you're working on. Maybe you're not working
Yeah.
a 9 to 5 job, but you have some other passions that you want to pursue and they can only do them in the daytime. Getting up really
Mhm.
early, getting your business out of the way or most of it, opens up the rest of your day to do other things.
And then one of the things, I'm sorry, go ahead, Tracy.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say one of the things that I share with people all the time is because when they say, "Oh, I can't get it all done," or "I don't know how," is I remind them that they are a small business essentially. You may say, "I don't own a business," but you're the small business of you,
Mhm.
and so you need to look at how you're running yourself every day. And
Mhm.
if you're in the negative every day, then call a business meeting with yourself, have an agenda, talk about old business, new business, open discussion. And then what's my follow-up actions? The agenda. What's my takeaways?
Exactly.
JoJo, last week this didn't work. This week, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna
Mhm.
check in with you on Wednesday. And you got to operate yourself like a small business. And
Yep.
then when your mindset with that starts to change, then the actions that come behind it make it a lot easier.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
that's what I tell people all the time. I said, even if you're a single member LLC or a sole proprietor, you have to
Yeah.
treat your business like you're an employee of your business. If you had a regular
Yes.
job, you would go to work every day and you had a set agenda of things that needed to be completed
Yes.
in order for you to be quote unquote successful at your job. So you need to treat your own business that way. Show up for work,
Yes.
right? In your business. That's what you're doing.
Yes.
You're showing up for work. And
That's right.
that's the commitment that gets me here at 6 o'clock every morning. This is my job, right?
Yes.
Part of my new business model, and I need to show
Yes.
up for work. Do I take a
Yes.
sick day every now and again? Yes, but most of the time I'm showing up for work.
Yes. Every day.
Yeah. So let's talk about what live past your crazy. How did that evolve? What is the backstory that you have that brought you to this point? And I know you just got your trademark for it, so congratulations.
I'm excited. That was a hard process, Tracy.
I know.
It was hard. So I actually came up with the name during the morning show, but
Uh-huh.
then I realized that I'm a survivor of domestic violence, and I have been for 16 years now. And I realized when I stopped and looked back, there were things that I was doing, steps and things I was taking along the way to
Mhm.
live past crazy that seemed to help. And then when people were coming to me with questions, I would say, well, this worked for me, and maybe this will work for you. And they started to use it. It was like, hey, Joe, this really worked for me. And I started just paying attention because, sometimes what you're meant to do, your purpose, your vision, whatever you want to call it, it's going to keep showing up.
Mhm.
It's going to keep saying, hey,
Yeah.
JoJo, and, trying to get your attention. And I
Yeah.
started just paying attention to that. So as a survivor of domestic violence, and thank God, that I am, because some people don't get out. But that's the backstory. That's what drives me every morning. That's what allows me to get up, to do the morning show at 7, and to continue to work and do that, because I know that there's some lady or gentleman out there who just needs a second of a reprieve, of peace and quiet, or a different thought process, to know that regardless of what you're going through, you can get past it. Because, as a survivor, I had no idea how I was going to live, as a victim 1 second to the next, let alone to develop a business. And I tell everybody, we celebrate day
Mhm.
ones, and that everything is not going to happen in one day. And you celebrate your day one. If you got up and you did what you need to do today, you celebrate that. And so I'm just a reminder for people that you can make the next step past whatever your crazy is. If it's domestic violence, or a bad relationship, friendship, even a job, you can
Uh-huh.
you can live past the crazy of it.
And exactly how do you help them through this process?
So there's 5 steps to live past crazy. And
Mm-hmm.
so we go over the 5 keys, and I would tell everybody that number 1 is to be quiet, because you're never going to understand, or you're never going to find the answer when you're busy with everything else. And because a lot of people say, well, Jojo, you don't understand. Life is hard. I can't do what you told me to do. Then I promise your chaos and your crazy is going to continue if
Mm-hmm.
you don't stop just for a second. And I will, just a personal story, when I assumed that I could keep going, like we were talking earlier, and not take a break because I wanted to help everybody, it
Mm-hmm.
landed me in the hospital in isolation. People were suiting up to come in to see me. And it's like, Miss Waddell, your system is shutting down. Your kidneys are not working, your liver. And I was like, what are you talking about? And it was like, we ran every test. There's physically, medically, nothing wrong with you. We don't know why and the doctor finally came and he was like, you're stressed. And stress will kill you. And I was
Right.
like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, okay, thank you. And it was from that point that I knew I had to take this. If I was going to do this journey, I
Mm-hmm.
had to start taking it seriously. And, and that's when some of the guidelines started to come into play. And that's when I developed the 5 steps to live past crazy. Because number 1 is absolutely to be quiet. So I share the 5 steps. And once we get past that, then we do the Live Past Crazy blueprint, where you can take your crazy, whatever it may be, fill out. And so we truly have a blueprint, and you
Mm-hmm.
fill out your blueprint with the steps. And then at the end, you can see where you're going, how you're going to get there, and what it's going to look like when you get there. So that works for people.
Mm-hmm.
That works for them pretty well.
Okay. So most of the people who come into your program, are they survivors of domestic violence, or like you said, just regular people who are just having stress, with everyday life, or who are the type of people that come into your program?
It is, you know what? I would in the beginning, I thought it was just for victims of domestic violence, because I've been there from, living in the shelter, from all of that, from the beginning to the end. And so that was my main focus. But what I found is, just like people describe their crazy any kind of way, I was getting a normal working woman who, I'm 45 and I have 2 kids and I'm working and I want to go back to school and I want to do this. And, I have this problem and this relationship is not working and I got a mama issue and I'm not a counselor, but I share life advice. So not counseling advice, but life advice. I advise everybody to get you a counselor, but I can give you some life advice, because I've had the mama issues, I've had the job issues, the relationships, and, so that there's steps that we can all follow. And so I found that it was truly the career woman that I was helping more than anything. And I was like, oh, so, she is me and I am her. It's just that sometimes we don't have a safe space to operate in.
Okay. Yeah, because it's really hard juggling your career, your home life, and everything else that you want to do. I know a lot of women give up things to nurture their kids or nurture their parents or their husbands or whatever. So there is a lot of crazy going on in our lives on a daily basis. And sometimes we don't have the outlet to help it. You may not have a girlfriend who you can talk to who is going to give you some sound advice, may come from a place of, malice or jealousy.
Yes, really couldn't have been me.
Yeah, just really not understanding what you're going through, because maybe they've never walked a mile in your shoe. So having that safe space is really important for women to be able to, I like to call it, emotionally vomit.
Yes, and we absolutely because as women, as Black women, we're taught, be strong, hold on, and you carry the burden and never knowing that it is breaking you down. I tell people that your body is screaming to you every morning that something is not right, and you need to address that. And I had problems with my throat and my stomach for years. And I went to every doctor, Tracy, like, you don't understand. I'm sick. There's something wrong with me. And it was like, you're crazy. There's nothing wrong with you. And then I finally realized I was holding on to things that I need to speak about, or I had emotions that I hadn't dealt with. And so when it comes with that balance, because you said something really important, that sometimes we sacrifice for our family, for our kids, our parents. And so I had to start asking myself a question. Am I really sacrificing for them if I neglect myself? Because if I neglect myself, I'm not sacrificing for them anymore. I'm making it worse. Because one day mama gonna come home and I'm gonna blow up this building because y'all gonna ask me the wrong question at the wrong time. And I'm just gonna go out because I got the stress of work. I'm trying to take care of a parent. I'm sick myself. I can't take a day off from work. I'm not making enough money. And so when you hit that point, it could be a kid that's standing there in front of you that you're going to yell at, and they have no idea why. And so when we start to sacrifice, am I really sacrificing, or do I still need to take time for myself? And so my kids have gotten into the routine. They know when I come in, I go, they know to leave me alone. I go straight to the bathroom, Tracy. I lock myself in there. And I don't come out until I feel better. I will crack the door and tell them, bring me some water, please. Bring me a snack. They leave it at the door. They don't even stick their little fingers in there anymore. They leave it at the door. You know the movie, I just reach out and grab it.
Yeah.
I had to do a process where I can relax and rejuvenate and give back to me first, so that I can go be the better mother, or whatever title you're going to hold on. Because if not, sister, you will drain yourself.
Yeah. And I totally agree with what you say, because I always tell the story, and I think I've said it here many a times, so people are probably tired of hearing it. But when I was teaching, right, I was so stressed out, like coming towards the latter part of my teaching career. When I think I was
I feel it from here.
Out, Jojo. I was stressed out. My voice was always on 100. I did not know how to have a conversation. Like, I was just always like, when I came home, I didn't even want my kids to look. I picked them up from school. Don't even talk to me after that. You know, because if you talk to me, I'm just shouting. Like, it just came out as shouts. And I was just like, this is crazy. I'm not even talking to my kids anymore. I mean, I would still love on them, but everything was just more aggressive. Like, I just wanted to be left alone. I'm an introvert. I need time for myself. And I was not at that time. I was running my business. I was working my full-time job, and I was working another side business. So I had like 2 side hustles going on. And then I still had to be a mom. I still had to be a girlfriend. And I was just like, and I still had to, my mom was going through cancer at the time. It was just a lot. I was just like, and then I had a car accident, and I was using a cane for like 6 months because I couldn't walk. I was just like, I felt like the world was on my shoulder, and I could not. And then I got sick. I got really sick, and I was disabled for about a year because the doctor couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I went to every specialist. I did every test, and they're like, we don't know what the problem is. I mean, eventually they figured it out, but it was probably a byproduct of the stress too. Like, I really did have a serious problem that I had to eventually get treatment for, but it took them that long because it was masking itself as all types of stuff. I got tested for lupus, MS.
I did too.
I was just like, oh my God, this is insane. This is insane. I was like, I just want to feel good. I just want to feel
I just want to feel normal. I was just like you. I walked with the cane for about 6 months too. I was dragging that left leg. Like, here I am 30. Why am I dragging my leg behind me? It will drive you. Life will drive you crazy.
You gotta live past the crazy. So now when people are like, oh, you don't let anything bother you. I'm like, are you serious? I do let things bother me. I just have learned how to deal with it because I don't intend for it to take me over. You know, I know what stress can do, and I already suffer from high blood pressure. I'm not about to Why? Because
I don't need no extra.
no, we're not doing that. Okay. So I always say that if I had really listened to some of the things that my mom told me, I remember when I used to stress a lot, she was like, "You are so tense, girl. You need to relax." I'm like, "How am I gonna relax?" I'm like a control freak. So if I can't control the situation, oh, I'm stressed out. Okay.
Girl,
So you understand. So
I am a reformist know-it-all.
very strategic, right? I'm very, I like things to go according to plan.
Yes.
And when it's not going that way, ooh, I feel it all in my chest, all in my
I have
head.
no patience. My patience is here. Like, and then I'm quick. Nope. Start over. No, do it. And then they're looking at me like, okay, mama is on 10.5. If you would just do the way I told you to do it.
Nope. My daughter, I told her to do something the other day, and then she started doing it, and I saw her doing it wrong. So then I jumped in right away. I didn't even say anything to her, and I start fixing. She was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing, Mom?"
It's like you
I was
can't,
like,
you can't stop
fixing it. She was like, "Let me make my mistake. Okay? If it's wrong, I'll figure it out and I'll fix it myself. You have to stop doing this." You know? So,
it is hard.
check you. You know, she's like, "Hold up. You know, I am only going to learn if I make the mistake. Stop fixing stuff for me." She was like, "You're always fixing stuff. Who do you think you are, Olivia Pope?"
Yes. And I'm going to try my best. I think it's because we're parents and we're mothers and we're taught to fixing it. And I will tell you, growth for me has came in the last 2 months when my children have folded the towels and I have not went back and refolded those towels the way I want. When I get out that shower, it drives me insane to see them towels folded. But I was like, you know what? The main thing, JoJo, is that the towels are folded. It doesn't matter because you stress yourself out with the little things because you just assume you know, we have to control everything because I'm a former control freak and a Miss Know-it-all. So yeah.
I remember,
but it will make you crazy, and then you'll look at other people like, why are you not like this?
Right.
And they're like, you're the one, honey, that's insane, not us.
I remember that there was one point in time when I used to clean all. That's how I was dealing with my stress, and especially after my daughter passed. I became obsessive compulsive. I would clean from the time I got up till the time I went to bed. And I remember going to my OBGYN and she was like, "I'm going to need you to get a closet or a room that you're not using and just put everything in there."
Yes. That's
like
right.
literally have a closet. And that's what I tell people. That's what I've learned to do. And I had to go to therapy, right?
Yes. Yep.
To learn to deal with all of this, right?
Yes.
You need to have different compartments.
Yes.
You need to have boxes that you put things into. And there's one box, is the most important box that you need to have. It's called a miscellaneous box. And that's the one that you put all the things into that you can't solve right now. You got to put into that miscellaneous box and literally lock that box and let it go.
Let it go.
Okay? I'm not saying it's not going to bother you a little bit, but you can't let it be the thing you think about all the time. It's going to stress you out and you're going to get sick and you're going to take it out on everybody else and you're going to wonder, well, what's going on? You're on yourself.
Yeah, and because you're going, and then you're going to start decorating that. I tell people, you're going to decorate your crazy, and then you're building a cage of crazy. Like, oh well, I know this is crazy, but I'm gonna put up some blinds, and if I put a fresh coat of paint, and maybe if I buy a new outfit and a new purse, well, you're just decorating your. And counseling is, I'm a fan of counseling. Counseling helped me. So much because you learn to do that. And in the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, it says focus on your circle of influence. Girl, I was all in my circle of concern. It had nothing to do with me. Nothing. I was all over in that circle. I stayed in my circle of influence, which is things I could impact myself, which is me, myself, and I first. Then it spills over. And Oprah Winfrey has a wonderful saying. She says, if people tell you you're full of yourself, say thank you. That's not a bad thing, because now you have extra to serve people from. And I tell people, and Trace, you can probably attest to this, that when you wake up in the morning, you have 100% of your energy, right? Your energy bucket. And by the time you talk to your mama, your sister, your cousin, they're going to take 50% of your energy. Well, now that 50% has got to last you the rest of the day. It's got to last that woman who chew at your job with her mouth open and, get on your last nerve, popping that gum. It's the people in traffic. It's your children getting on your nerves as you cook dinner, won't help with their homework. Heaven forbid if you marry, now you got to spend time with a whole man. And then it's 10 o'clock and you falling asleep on the couch and you have no idea why. It's because you spent all of your energy before 10 o'clock. Right. And so I tell people, you got to be mindful of how you spend your energy. If you get 100%, look at who are your energy drainers. Yeah. And then what I do is I save up my energy. So a couple of weeks ago, every day I got in the bathtub. Every single day. And I stayed there for an hour every night. And so when my girlfriend called, who is always, girl, I had extra left over for her. Because otherwise she would have took all of my energy for the whole day. Right. And so I plan for my energy takers. Yeah. So we have to be mindful of that.
And I like what you said when you said sometimes we dress up our crazy. That is pivotal to me because you said something about like spending money or whatever. And I tell people all the time, I'm a recovering shopaholic.
Oh, really?
I would be able to sit at the computer like we are right now. So we've been on here for like about 31 minutes. I could have already spent $10,000 in clothing.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yep. Listen, I'm a recovering shopaholic. And not no cheap shopaholic.
Tracy at the Dollar Tree?
No. Nordstrom's, Saks Fifth Avenue. Yeah. Recovering shopaholic. So it was really bad. It was bad. I was like, okay, we got something gotta give here because you are gonna lose your shirt if you don't stop. And I remember when I went to her house, she grabbed my bag and she just took every credit card I had because at that point in time I had great credit. She took every credit card I had and she just and she was like, that's it. Yeah, she was like, she said, if I see one more piece of mail come in and it's a credit card or whatever, you're not even gonna get it. I'm just gonna destroy it one time. So yeah, because we shared the same PO box. So she was like, no, but no. Yeah. So I mean, I have been through the gamut, so I can talk on a lot of things because people look at you and they think that, oh, you present like you're so together. You don't know what crazy, like you said, goes on behind the scenes. Okay, so we all have a past. We've all been through some stuff, and none of us are immune from it.
That's right.
So, what would you tell, like the top 3 things that you would tell somebody who has a full-time job and is trying to build a business?
Number 1 is prioritize your time. Because in the beginning, all of it can seem overwhelming, right? Because you have this vision and a stream that you want to do, but you also got to maintain your 9 to 5 that's going to feed this business. So I prioritize and I respect everything that I do. I respect that I'm a 9 to 5 and that I've got to give that job everything, and I respect it in such that it's giving to what my passion is, right? But I have to prioritize my day. So if I'm getting up, at 4 and 5 with you, Tracy, then that's my me time. And then when I come home, I give myself, and you got to transition. And I learned that the hard way. So if you get off at 5, your family still deserves to see you. Because I was coming straight into my office at home and working to 10. If my kids wanted to see me, they came in here. And I realized that it was hard for them. So I had a transition period. So from that 5 to 7, 8, we can do whatever. I'm not coming in here. I'm not, unless it's something urgent. And then I said, and you got to make the sacrifice. You got to prioritize. You got to make the sacrifice. And then you got to write out what is your end goal? And then let's do baby steps towards it. Because I've learned that you're going to pay in time, you're going to pay in money. And if you're just starting out, you're more than likely going to pay in time. That means you're doing the research. You're taking girl. How much money have we spent on classes and coaches, and because you're doing the work before you can pay someone to do it for you. And so I would prioritize my time, write out your schedule, and then celebrate those baby steps of what you're doing. It's going to happen. And don't beat yourself up about it, because, if you try it the first time you try it, just because it doesn't work doesn't mean you're a failure or that it failed. You're learning something. And that's the amazing thing about it, is that you're learning. And what I keep in the forefront of my mind is that, JoJo, you are building a legacy, right? Because everything that we do every day is legacy building. And so I'm figuring this out, because I'm building a legacy. And you do that one step at a time.
All right. That's awesome. Thank you, JoJo, for being here this morning. I really appreciate it. Do you have any upcoming events that you want to leave our audience with so that they can go and check it out?
Okay, this week coming up, I do have Live Past Crazy, where we will be going over the 5 steps of living past crazy. So they can register if they go to bit.ly/5past, the number 5, and then the word past. They can register for that class that's coming up this week. And then in October, as my Aunt Sue would say, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, we're going to have the Sister Rise retreat, which is it is a retreat for women to get together and realize our superpower and what it is and what it looks like, and how do we harness that superpower. Because Tracy, every day I tell people, you're so powerful, you've convinced yourself that you're powerless. Like, you've convinced yourself that you have to live this way, you have to do this, and you have overridden your natural ability to be great, to assume that you're less than. And so we're going to tap into that power and what it means to live in your superpower and what that is. So that's in October, and that's bit.ly/Sister Rise. And the RISE stands for Revitalizing Individual Sacred Energy, because we got to protect our space at all costs. So, excuse me, that's what I have coming up. So thank you so much for having me on the show. I've had a good time.
So
you enjoyed my tea.
If you want to check out JoJo again, you can go to livepastcrazy.com. Up on the screen. You can join her Facebook group at Live Past Crazy Specialist. And she drops her videos in there every day.
Yes.
And for her class coming up this week is bit.ly/5past.
Thank you.
And for her sister,
Sister Rise.
Yeah, it's bit.ly/Sister Rise. Yes. All right. Thanks again for joining us, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more morning tea.
Have a good day.